Hey everyone, my name is Daniel and welcome back to another video. I hope all of you are having an absolutely phenomenal day out there. As always, here today, I want to take you all through Coinbase's Q3 2021 financial results, which they just reported here today. Now, the stock is currently down right around 12.5% after hours after this news was released. So in this video, let's go through exactly what Coinbase just reported, why the market is taking it negatively, exactly what I'm doing moving forward, and actually dive deep into the numbers and come up with some valuation targets. So if you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video here. So here we have it, Coinbase down 12.5% after hours. Now, it is important to understand that in the grand scheme of things, this may just be a bit of a cool off from the massive run that we've seen here over the past month. Again, Coinbase going from roughly $250 per share just a month ago to, even after hours, well over $300. So, it's important to understand that, and, kind of with that in mind, let's go through these numbers. So here we have it. Revenue missed $1.31 billion compared to the estimate of $1.57 billion, and adjusted EBITDA $618 million compared to the estimate of $662, both down, revenues down 40% quarter over quarter, with EBITDA down 46% quarter over quarter. So a miss on both the top and the bottom line. Now, what the market is taking at face value, in my opinion, needs to be kind of almost explored a little bit further. And let me explain exactly why. Because throughout the second quarter, or I guess the third quarter rather, in 2021, we saw a massive slowdown in volume of cryptocurrencies. We obviously saw Bitcoin go on a massive run here throughout the first quarter and second quarter, leading to substantial volumes throughout that time. But throughout kind of the second quarter, and this isn't just Coinbase, Robinhood experienced a 75% decline in revenue. Voyager Digital, another publicly traded crypto brokerage platform, experienced a 40% decline in revenue. This isn't just Coinbase. The entire crypto sector across the board experienced a massive slowdown in volume, which is out of Coinbase's control at the end of the day, and that's something that we have to understand. Now, over the past couple of months here, again, September was an incredible month for cryptocurrencies. October is also starting to be phenomenal as well. What we're seeing is a rebound back to the levels that we saw throughout the second to first quarter of 2021, which is great to see and kind of signals a great quarter to come with Q4. So again, keep that in mind. Really important to understand what we experienced was more of a shorter term dip and almost a bit of a look into what may happen if we do end up going into a cryptocurrency bear market, which some are predicting may happen at some point throughout 2022 and last for maybe a year, 2 or 3. So again, we'll see, but important to keep that in mind. Now, besides that, we do have some other metrics like profitability, which this number is skewed. Coinbase did have some one-time, not expenses, but potentially write-offs throughout the quarter, which led net income to be a little bit higher. And this is displayed right here on their actual net income statement, $1.6 billion in net income, while they only had $1.15 billion in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciations, and amortization. So again, important to understand, EPS did not drop that substantially, as again is showed here. Monthly transacting users did decline, and not too significantly, again showcasing their potential active user base. Trading volume also did decline, but actually did beat estimates, and this is largely in part because of institutional trading volume, which was $234 billion in comparison to the $210 expected, right around a quarter of a drop. Obviously not as much as a retail trading volume, but very interesting to see that institutional trading volume actually managed to beat expectations and decline the least out of all of these metrics. Very interesting, except for actually monthly active users only declined 16%. But either way, assets on the platform increased, people depositing money, and in my opinion, largely due to these institutions. But the analyst here on Yahoo Finance, and I guess this is from Bloomberg Intelligence, actually mentions something very interesting. It seems to me that the trading volumes were basically as expected, said Julie Chariel, an analyst at Bloomberg Intelligence. The revenue seemed to be more because of yield, price earned per trade. The big question is why? One part of the reason seems to be going to the ongoing user shift from retail to institutions. As the mix shift continues, the average price Coinbase earns comes down. Very interesting here. As we know, Coinbase is one of the hotspots for institutions to buy and trade cryptocurrencies. Now, although there is a ton of institutional volume on the platform, they don't generate as money as the fees are lower for institutions. So again, keep that in mind. I do like the trend of, again, more institutions, as it does lead to almost more sustainable revenue in some way, because institutions are less likely to be emotional with volume like retail traders, which again is pretty much exemplified right here perfectly. But kind of that's what's been going on. We do have some announcements potentially about an NFT marketplace appearing on Coinbase, and just an update on, they had to shelve their plans for crypto lending, which obviously came from pressures from the SEC, which, nothing you can really do about that. But that's Coinbase. That's what they reported. Now, the next thing I want to do with all of you is take these numbers and put them into context in terms of the valuation. Now, again, also important to understand that users didn't decline as substantially. So again, they have a pretty active user base, which is great to see. So let's take these numbers, plug them into a spreadsheet here. We have revenue. Again, these are the numbers that we have: 1.6 billion in Q1, just over 2 billion in Q2, and now 1.23 here in 1.23 billion rather in Q3 of this year. Now, Q4 is up to debate, but in my opinion, we're really in for a phenomenal Q4 when it comes to crypto trading volume and activity within the crypto sector as a whole. For a lot of these crypto brokers, like potentially even Robinhood, Voyager, Coinbase, they're going to have phenomenal Q4s when it comes to cryptocurrency. So I'm going to expect 2.4 billion. Keep in mind, they have grown their actual verified users pretty substantially from this number here in Q2. So I'm pretty confident that they will get 2.4, maybe 2.3. Again, it doesn't really make a massive difference in the grand scheme of things when you look at the valuation. But again, 7.2 billion in total revenue for full year 2021. I think that's pretty realistic here. Now, when it comes to profitability, again, we don't have this exact number when it comes to net income here in Q2, as it is skewed. And again, because it is skewed, but again, I can actually show you the letter here. Although they did report 1.6 billion in net income, the actual adjusted EBITDA stayed pretty much flat in comparison to Q1. So we can assume net income was pretty similar, if not a little bit higher. So I'm going to assume around $780 million in net income for Q2. I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation to have. Now, I did take the average margin here. Again, average margin Q1, Q2, Q3, and that kind of comes out to around 36%. Use that on Q4, and we get potential net income for full year 2021, or I guess this is interchangeable with cash flow, money that the business generated, of right around $2.8 billion. Now, you take the current valuation of the company, right around, fully diluted share count multiplied by the share price after hours, and you get a price to sales ratio of just around 11 and a PE ratio of under 29. That's actually really interesting, and isn't that crazy considering that Coinbase is a growth company with no doubt in my mind. They're growing their revenue significantly, and they're probably one of the most stable plays when it comes to the crypto industry, especially given the fact that they managed to grow their subscription services revenue 41% sequentially in the third quarter, despite this massive drop in crypto volume. So you do have that stable part of their business, which accounts for around 12.5% of their revenue, which in my opinion will only continue to grow even if we do see a decline in crypto volume. So you look at all of this, what are my thoughts? Well, it's important to understand that when valuing these crypto brokers, exchanges, it's a very, very difficult task. And you can't just make a long-term model assuming 10, 20% growth over the next 5 years, because that is not the way Coinbase's business model works. If we see a bear market in 2022, Coinbase's share price is going to decline, right? There's no doubt about that. But if you're a believer in cryptocurrencies and believe that they will succeed over the coming years like the internet once did, Coinbase is with no doubt a great risk-free almost way to invest in that growth, as Coinbase is the dominant player in the field and will be for years to come. Now, personally, I'm a little bit more risky, but I like to invest in another crypto broker called Voyager Digital, which I will make a video on at some point here tonight, hopefully comparing Coinbase's results to Voyager and valuation. But, kind of either way, Coinbase, in my opinion, if you own it, you can't go wrong with it. It's a great business. They're doing things the right way. They're really transitioning to more of a sustainable revenue approach. And the fact that they have a lot of institutions using their platform is, with no doubt in my mind, a phenomenal way for them to, again, have that stable revenue, which you really, really want to see and emphasize on given the volatility in cryptocurrencies and the nature of them. So those are my thoughts on Coinbase's earnings. Let me know on kind of what you think in the comment section down below. But obviously, if cryptos continue to go up over the coming potentially weeks and months, Coinbase stock should hopefully do phenomenally alongside that. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you found some value, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.